sister and brother. There is love in this family. Pick yourself up and get on your feet. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Makena styling, up country styling, Campo styling, Kahanapali styling, Hana styling, Wai'ehu styling, Bahia styling, Keanai styling, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Maui styling, don't stop me now. Maui styling.
Aloha! This is Jason Schwartz. Welcome to another Mama Presents. Today we have a great pleasure here today. We're sitting with Amelia Kinkade, and I didn't have to look at the book, but I think you'll see this cover when you go to the bookstores. Straight from the horse's mouth. How to talk to animals and get answers. Amelia, thank you and welcome to our show.
Oh, my pleasure.
Amelia has come here from where?
From Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. And Maui's a beautiful place to come. What brought you here to Maui?
I actually was doing a workshop with Alan Cohen.
Ah.
So we decided to combine forces in a workshop that was the first of its kind, where Alan was focusing on human spirituality, getting people centered, finding their own intuition, and then I'm taking that clarity and extending it toward animals.
Oh.
So we had the luxury of having this gorgeous place.
We're here at the home and ranch of Franklin and Adriana Levinson in beautiful Walo, Maui. Beautiful here,
The
isn't
Horse Whisperer Ranch.
The Horse Whisperer Ranch. See, I didn't know that. You see, we all live here. We have an island here. It's a funny place. We live amongst really very special people. And it seems that sometimes it's people coming from other areas that coming here that share with us how special the people here are.
Yeah.
Franklin and Adriana are really terrific people.
Amazing.
Franklin has been working with horses for a good long while and has been in close communication. Is that what you were sharing? Had you ever met him before?
Franklin is a friend of Alan's.
Alan Cohen.
So Franklin's facility here, where he offers rides and they have weddings performed here on the grounds, and he works with abused kids and tremendous programs for healing people with horses. This was an absolute perfect place. I could never have wanted to teach in a more beautiful spot.
Well, we hope you'll come again.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to.
So tell us, straight from the horse's mouth, what is this book about?
The book is really one of the first comprehensive how-to books on animal communication. So what I'm endeavoring to do here is to teach this to the layman. It's a book for the skeptics. Because I think that there are other books out that have been published on intuition, psychic communication, telepathy, and they aren't as specific, and they don't have the kind of scientific validation that I'm discovering. You know, as I went through this process, and every chapter is on a different type of intuition. I mean, we all will have flickers of pictures come into our mind. You know, when someone's thinking about us, when something's wrong with somebody we love, even if the phone rings and you have an intuition, you know who it is before you pick it up. I'm at a point now where I can't find anybody in the world who that doesn't happen to. No, I can have an auditorium of hundreds of people and say, how many of you have had this situation happen where the phone rings and you know who's on the other line before you pick it up? Everybody. I mean, we're just at a point now where we're embracing this, and the animals need it. So now we're taking everything that we have discovered about human spirituality, and we're moving forward.
What is it that gives us trust? What is it that, you know, when we have the feelings about this, how do we take it that extra step?
Validation. I mean, validation is the thing that gives you trust. I mean, one chapter is on clairvoyance, which means clear seeing in Latin. That's the ability to perceive pictures in your mind, which we're doing anyway when we communicate. Because all we're doing when we talk is we're describing the pictures that are in our minds. So we're holding those pictures and we're volleying those pictures back and forth. And those images are very accessible. And that's how you would know if somebody's lying. Because the images don't match the words. There's another chapter on clairsentience, which is being able to feel the feelings of another living being. Clairaudience is where you pick up little snatches of conversation or words. And animals are constantly projecting this information to us and wanting us to pick it up.
Give us a practical example of how we might use some of these things. Are there techniques or anything?
Absolutely. One of the most productive is medical gestalt, and what we just did in the arena. I mean, if there's a horse, we had one particular horse that Franklin got and suspect had been abused. Now, the horse would bite and act out, and the question that I posed to the group is this physical or emotional? And that's probably the thing that most people want to know about their animals most often. Do I need to take this animal to the vet, or is this a psychological problem? And so I've got a chapter on this. Gestalt therapy is where you use your intuition to feel your way through another animal's body. And even though, as far-fetched as it may be, or as skeptical as anybody is, if somebody says to me, oh my God, you know, all of a sudden I feel pain in my lower back. And if we were to go get that animal x-rayed and the person's right, so you ask me about how do you know? The way you know is if you're right. If you can go get an x-ray and get it validated that there's a vertebra that is injured, then you know immediately it's not all behavioral. That horse was in pain. And we had a whole group of people who could identify not only was the horse in pain, but where was it in pain.
Yeah, it was an amazing thing to see. So this weekend, I guess what you were saying is Alan Cohen was assisting people in getting in touch with their own sensitivity, emotionally and physically, and then translating it that extra step to communicate with the animals and be able to feel them as well.
Right, right.
Wow.
Because the whole key of it is if we're not in touch with ourselves, how can we be in touch with anything else? And if you really want to heal any animal, the whole beginning step has to do with healing yourself.
You were here with horses. I see in your book here you're looking at dogs and cats. Do people have any issues that are common that you'll hear from people? Like if you guys are asking questions now, what questions would we hear most commonly?
People ask me about life after death.
Oh.
I hear more questions about that than anything else. People want to know, where do animals go? You know, is it true that they have a group soul? A lot of people have guilt about whether they let their animal go too soon, or, you know, if they kept them too long, if they needed medical assistance at the end, if they shouldn't have taken them to the vet. So a lot of the work I do has to do with death and dying.
You were sharing about where a daughter cat was there when her mother was cremated, yes, and putting of the ashes, and the cat is really very sensitive to the areas where the ashes were.
Yeah, the cat would go and sit with the ashes of her mother. And the person finally, and the woman was keeping the ashes in the garage. This just happened when I was on tour in England. Someone came up to me with a story. For months, the cat would go and sit with the ashes every day. And she finally buried the ashes in the garden, and the cat went out and sat in the garden on the same spot.
Wow. So I always wonder, for example, I'll just give you an example. My cat is clawing at a certain post or something, and then you wonder, I wonder why it doesn't pick on any other thing in the house, only on that area, or how do I know what to feed the cat, or does he like to be inside, or should I let him out? That's just a matter of getting used
Ask
to
him.
it. Ask him.
Read the book and ask them. They're constantly trying to talk to us, and we can learn how to talk to them. It's just a matter of practice. It's a learned skill.
Well, what I saw today with you and the horses, we were in here with people looking at pictures. I had done this long ago with different objects that came from the tomb in Egypt, and we could talk about different times in history, but just looking at a picture, people and yourself as well, we're able to get a real feeling because the souls are kept in the picture. We can really get a feeling from pictures. I'm looking for some help for all the people out here who would really like to get closer to this kind of work, because sometimes, if not all the time, we find our four-legged friends are closer to us than some of the two-legged ones. We feel really, really drawn to wanting to get our relationship even more bonded and clear.
Most of it has to do with listening. We spend a lot of time talking, and we don't spend a lot of time listening. So one of the first things I invite my students to do is to turn off the TV, stop running around, because we're constantly in motion and scurrying around and distracting ourselves, not even listening to what's going on in our own bodies, much less in the bodies of our loved ones. And sit quietly with your animal, try the exercises, start working with animals that you don't know, because that's where the validation really comes in. You already have a preconceived notion of what you think is going on with your cat. But if you sat down with a cat you didn't know, and that cat's human guardian asked you 20 questions, and you answered them, and say 18 of those answers were right, you wouldn't be able to say, oh, this doesn't work, or there's nothing to this. And what we're finding now is huge workshops of people that I'm teaching all over the world, that everybody can do it.
Wow.
But the real key is sitting down, learning how to quiet your mind, moving your focus into your heart, and just listening, waiting to see what sort of reception you get. If you get flickers of pictures, emotion, it may be physical pain that you're feeling, and now, you know, this entire group of people did it beautifully for the last 3 days. And they're going to walk away with skills they can build on for the rest of their lives.
Well, I know here in Maui, are very appreciative that you and Alan chose here, because I saw a great number of people that were here from Maui. And we have a very, I want to say, a really great community here. And we hope that all of you are out there who may not be in Maui will come here, because we get wonderful people like Amelia coming here, sharing things that we hope you'll come again and share more with us. And maybe the next time we'll have a little bit more interactive time with some animals as well. We got a little bit of you today with some of the dogs a little bit and some of the horses. Do you have animals that you like working with more? Do you work with people that have horses with challenges, or what kind of work do you do with that?
A lot of the work I'm doing now is sanctuaries. I love to work with primates. I'm working with big cats, elephants. In Southern California, I work with a lot of show horses. And now, you know, farm animals even. But the ones that are closest to my heart are the big jungle animals.
Wow. Well, we appreciate having you here and taking the time out of your schedule while you're on vacation to join us on the show.
Thank you.
Aren't we lucky? Amelia Kinkade, straight from the horse's mouth. I know that people are going to want to look at this. It's Crown Publishing, so I bet if you go down to Borders, or we'll see where else, probably everywhere good books are sold.
Yeah. Thank
You have a website where we can let people get in touch?
It's www.AmeliaKinkade.com.
There we go, an easy one. AmeliaKinkade. See it at the bottom of the screen? .com. Well, thank you very, very much for joining us, Amelia.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again. Aloha.
if you've got pictures of your animals, I'd like to ask you to pick a partner that doesn't know your animal, or someone that you don't know very well. Sure.
Yeah. We have a watchdog, and the other dog, we have a breeder, we have a breeder dog.
But we could sketch. We could sketch one.
That's okay. We don't have to have them. Did this come out evenly? Are you two working together?
We hadn't discussed it.
Your photographs, if you were to formulate 5 good questions, and if you know the answer to the first 2 or 3, that would help get your partner on track. And the last question or 2 can be things that you need to know the answer to. Start with something really easy to help lead them in. Make them very
The
easy.
first 3 I know the answers to.
Right, easy to validate. What's your favorite food? What color's your bed? Do you have another horse or dog at home? How do you feel about your dog or cat sitter? What do you do while the parents are away? Things that can be easily validated. Bringing down 5 questions that you would like to know about that animal.
Okay.
Step right in.
So it had a lot
Roll
of
all over the place.
whenever he was alive.
You're a real dog.
I only had it for one day and then it went to my sister. But yeah, it had a lot of female energy because it
A
acted
doggy's
like
dog.
her mom.
Okay, so I'm getting a lot of female energy.
Yeah, followed her everywhere.
So a lot of female energy.
All right, when you've got these 5 questions.
Was she with her sister there 2 or 3?
Ocean's already gone.
Oh, were we not supposed to?
Oh no, envisioning a beam of light coming out of your heart into the heart of that animal. It is an actual phenomenon now in quantum mechanics, quantum physics. And phenomenon is something that's been proven. It's not a theory. Whenever one living being wants to communicate with another, they create a wave, a standing wave. Information travels on those waves. So if you were to envision a connection between you and this animal, it's a concentration exercise, and you will find yourself in a slightly altered state. So it is a bit of a trance state. And the more you focus and concentrate, you'll find that you might even get clearer information than you do with a live animal. Most of my students prefer photographs. I personally prefer photographs. Focus on the picture. Look at the eyes of the animal and envision how you would feel if you were them. And then look at the first question and write down the absolute first thing that comes into your mind. Alan and Dee don't have pictures to report.
We're supposed to trade pictures now?
Swap the photographs.
No, I don't read it.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you going to start?
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather read Franklin. Read Franklin last time. What's your name? Five off is that's the best.
Okay, so now I'm going to write what she says in down.
One thing I picked up to
But I keep seeing us living in an area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the running streets.
You hadn't been with us yesterday. And one of the things that Alan said, he was the
She'd probably love it. I think she loves it.
Well, I saw lunches outside, and so the question was, what color is
Where I'm
baby's
living now
bowl?
is sort of
Everybody in the room said no,
packed in.
and Alan said orange. And then he said, oh, well, I wish I thought it was going to be red and orange. So I thought, well, that can't be, that must be making it up. And the thing is, you're going to use your business in order for them to get into your head. It's like you've got a computer in your booth, and they've got to use it to get their right? So it's like, that's going to give you a
There are both
your mind's going to log on to something you're familiar with. So,
happy neighborhood, in that neighborhood, happy neighborhood.
Yeah, I picked up a bright
you're fixated on something. No. There's a reason.
pink. Okay.
How's it going?
Right.
Yeah.
Like really bright.
Yeah, well, it's sort of bright. Yeah. It's definitely pink. That's good. Very good. Is she friendly to people? Is she, is she nice?
Might just be able to go the whole it's just
Well, like this picture, it's alive.
Sure, yeah. Well, she's
something's going on here.
beggars are one who usually is there are somebody comes into my space, he's out there for
Constant
she hangs around and she's busy.
Some people the hardest thing is just silence that, put that on the back of your mind and say, you know what, I don't care. I don't care what you think. I'm going to work this out anyway. Because I don't have anything to prove.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
If you're wrong, then you say to the person, gosh, sorry, I'm wrong. If you're right, you might say that. It's worth it.
Yeah, I love this jacket. Oh, is that why?
And he wants her to feel like she's in control. And so he allows her to push him around.
Yes.
And he would never hurt her. I mean, he
Oh,
would
no,
never raise a paw to her.
No,
So
never.
he allows her to be the queen in the house.
Yeah.
He's just so sweet and sensitive.
It is. We nuzzle noses together, and he sleeps with me more than she does. But, you know, he does. He's more of a cuddler. Certainly more of a cuddler.
Does he normally lay like this?
Well, there's something to lay on like that.
She's pretty crazy about it. They got
They sleep together?
I guess
That's him, and that's her old dog that just passed on. See if you can pick anything up from him.
This, which is this dog has?
This
Oh,
over
this
here.
yeah. What's this dog?
So if this dog is that means
Me being Ellie.
I don't know the names.
Your hand seems to be around.
Oh, it's a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's three animals.
Yeah.
Not your fault.
So this dog passed on. How long ago?
She went down and laid by them, and that's why I felt so guilty. I thought I should bring her inside. She laid by Mona because Mona always liked her a lot. And then the little puppy had just slept by them. And
I don't know what it takes to forgive myself. That's the thing.
Probably just do that just on cats.
What do you think?
Oh, good.
I agree. It is warm.
horses, many horses like to have a job. They really do. And he was great at his job.
Yeah.
And seemed to do quite well. But recently, so we're wondering about it. It's been a while. Is it going
And did he have problems before this incident that we didn't know about that are contributing to this? Another question.
Envision that you are him. Drop the focus down into his back legs. Now, rather than going backward in time to trace the memory, you're going to go forward in time to trace the healing. Envision how long would it take to have a full recovery. Julianne, what do you get?
3 months for to be completely sound, but in 3 weeks, I think you're going to see that he's doing better.
Kirsten, how do you feel?
I think that he'll be doing a little better pretty soon here, but I think for an entire recovery of a lot of because I think he has some emotional things too that are besides, you know, having a little bit of things with his legs. I think by the end of a year, he should be all better. And I think I got from him that he's trying really, really hard to get past whatever he needs to get past. He's really trying, because he's like, I'm trying to be normal, I'm trying to do this for you, but I can't right now.
See, what I think I hear you say is that he's feeling pressured to heal quickly.
Yeah.
I feel that too. And I feel like this is one of those situations where I said, find the cancer. And you weren't there yesterday. It was a case where a woman called me in because her dog had had cancer. And it finally occurred to me that she was checking the dog's mouth obsessively. Thinking, when's it going to heal? When's it going to heal? I turned to her and I said, how many times a day are you checking this dog's mouth? 5 times a day. She's checking it to see if the cancer's remanifesting, because she doesn't want the cancer to come back. And so rather than focusing on the problem, if you were to focus on the solution, which is that he is completely healed and sound, then you wouldn't even give any energy to the injury. Because I feel like, the first thing he said, Daddy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. Back to it. He feels foolish. He's trying to heal as fast as he possibly can. People keep checking him and giving energy to the problem instead of the solution. If the problem were gone, then the solution would be all that's left, which is, isn't it wonderful that you're healed and you're happy and it's over and it's never going to happen again, and now we can move into the future? Because he will, she's just tired of having any attention put on the injury.
Well, we're to ride him every day for 20 minutes of the walk. Keep things loose. Vet's orders. Easy walk. And maybe we're thinking the wrong things while we're riding him. We're always wondering, oh, how does he feel? And does it feel even? And oh, how did he feel going up that hill? And oh, how did he feel going down that?
He really needs to hear from you that you believe in him. Like as you're on that gentle walk, like, oh, I'm so happy you're healing. You're doing such a good job. Good for you.
Let her pray.
Yeah.
See, saying and focusing only on what you do want. Because that's what you want. He's trying, he's working as fast as he can to get healed.
He likes to ride.
Thank you for saying that. Guilty. Guilty. Oh, he's lame. He's not sound. He's not well. When's he going to get well? And if all those people around him were channeling the God source and supporting his recovery, how much easier it would be. It would be like if you had 5 terrific doctors and everybody came in and said, you're going to be fine. You are fine. You are fine. It's over. Then you're helping him with your energy rather than creating an obstacle. He's hard, you know. Don't you? I mean, he's tough, he's butch, he's on the road to recovery. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Well, you know, when you take him out, you know, have fun and not be so too focused on whether it's, you know, do it 20 minutes. You're going to do 20 minutes, have the best 20 minutes you can.
Yeah, that's a really good way.
You know.
Ready?
Bring your arm down for a sec. Let me bring him in a little bit. The more you stick your hand up, the more he'll stay away. It's like me putting. There you go. See, you can't come that close with your hand.
You ready?
Okay.
And then we're having a bunch of good friends. It makes me really appreciate it.
So what do you think of this whole thing, Mom?
Well, I think it's great.
Good, isn't it?
We came all the way from Beaverton, Oregon for this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because she's been kind of showing that gift all along, the connection with animals and sharing emotions with animals. And so when we saw, we didn't even know Amelia, but when we saw she was coming here, we went, oh, that's a good reason to go to Maui. So she's never been here before, and I'd been here once.
So I bet it's been a great experience.
Yeah, oh, it's been great.
for her as well.
Yeah. It's really, it's been that one. Well, everyone is so tuned in the whole weekend. You know, you question like, oh, what's the dog's favorite bed or favorite place to sleep in the bed in the home?
Right.
And everybody blue cushion, you know, or you know, they would get the color, or they would get the texture, or they would get the shape of the box, or whatever. So.
Well, we learn a lot. We learn how much we know if we just let ourselves know.
Be quiet and
You know, they always say, dreams are possible if we only let them be possible.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Give ourselves permission to.
Aloha.
Hi.
So has this been a great experience for you?
Yeah. It was kind of weird because I found out like halfway through it that I already had been doing some of this stuff without even knowing that I was doing it. So it's kind of weird.
It's kind of confirming, isn't it, how in touch you've been?
Yeah, I mean, because I wasn't expecting to be able to know some of the things that I knew. It's just kind of weird, but I guess people have to get used to it.
Well, we're really happy that you came to Maui and to be part of this with all of us. He's beautiful.
Thank you. He is. He's a nice looking boy. He's well put together.
Yeah. How old is he?
About 16.
Ah,
My guy.
he's a lucky guy to be here with you. What a great thing.
You want to bring that? Come on, Zip. Come here. Come here. Come on, Zip. Bring that with you. Hey, Di. Come on, Zip. Check this out.
Who's leading who?
Well, he's carrying his halter.
Does he have a license to do that?
Yes, he does, actually. Want me to put it on? Oh! Good boy, Zip. Good boy. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? Yeah, I know it was.
That one. That's his
You take that. I'll take that.
So did you learn anything today? I bet you did. You learned that everyone's listening to you a little more closely than before.
He appreciates all the love and he really wants to believe it's true, that it's really going to be okay. He just really wants to believe it. He's going to try really
That
hard.
we're gonna see him through this thing, however long it takes. Is that what you need to know?
Of course we are, you silly man. We love you. Yeah, he needs lots of affirmations.
So here's a story called Lorax by Dr. Suess. It was a story that really touched me as a child growing up in a factory town in southeast Michigan. And it goes like this. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could, until somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, and makes his own clothes out of mid-lumbered moose. And on certain dank midnights in August, he peeks out of his shutters. Sometimes he speaks, tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail in the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he lifts up the pail, makes the most careful count, see that you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his grovulous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper-my-phone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Slup. Down slups the whisper-my-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, so they have to come down to a snurgily hose. It sounds like he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long time back. Back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the Swami Swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits while they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees. All my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk. And they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a sneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. He was sort of a man. Describe him? And that's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy and spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister! He cried with a sawdusty sneeze. I'm a Lorax! I speak for the trees! I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and huffed. What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I've chopped just one tree, I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a sneed. A sneed's to find something that everyone needs. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets or pillows or sheets or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. But the Lorax said, Sir, you're crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that fool sneed. The very next minute I proved he was wrong, for at that very moment a chap came along. Thought the sneed I knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. Then I raced across the room and in no time at all, built a radio phone. I placed a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts. I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Wonsler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Niche. Turn left at Wee Hawk and sharp right at South Stitch. Then in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Wonsler family was working full tilt. We were all making sneeze just as busy as bees. The sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then oh baby oh, how my business did grow. Soon chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees with one smacker. Now we're all making sneeze 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the very next week, he knocked on my new office door. I'm the Lorax! He cried. I speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please, but I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloons, who played in the shade in their barbaloon suits and happily lived, eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruits to go around. My poor barbaloons are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys! He cried, and he sent them away. I, the Wonsler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads, the sneeze I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I kept right on biggering, selling more needs. And I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax! He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snargled, he sniffed. Wonsler! He cried with a crofulous croak. Wonsler, you're making such smogulous smoke to my poor swami swans, why, I can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, choked the Lorax, please pardon my cough, but I cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. I may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here. And what's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up. Let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop making gluppity-glup. Also schwappity-schlap. And what do you do with this leftover goo? Well, I'll show you, you dirty old Wonsler man, you. You're clumping a pond where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gum. So They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled to Lorax, said, "Listen here, Dad, all you do is yap, yap, and say bad, bad, bad." Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I tend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you, Lorax, I'm biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin', turning more truffle trees into sneeds, which everyone needs. Then at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From out in the fields came the sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more sneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye, jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. And all that was left here in this mess was my big empty factory, Lorax and I. Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. He just gave me a very sad, sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of the pants and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog. And all he left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, I just couldn't guess. But that was long, long ago. And each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, my factory has fallen apart. I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax is perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, things aren't going to get better, they're not. And you have to remember to this very day, axes still hack the old forests away. For the Lorax and all of his friends to survive, somehow these wild places must be kept alive. You have to protect the last that remain. The giant oak grundle trees that live in the rain, and the twisty frumplers in their pale desert green. But truffle trees, they're no more to be seen. So, catch, cries the onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffle seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffle seeds. And truffle trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle, treat it with care. Give it clean water, feed it fresh air. Plant a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
Wow, that's quite a moving piece. I think all of us feel like the Lorax a little bit. You're living in a beautiful place here. This is a great spot. We want to thank Zealand for being the hospitable host for the poet of poets, the man with the most. And if ever you go across this nation with pride, you will know that we all really love you inside. So remember, 'tis you who stand tall with our future. To life and the Lorax. Aloha.
Aloha.
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, take that Maui style with you. 'Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in of country styling, campo styling, Kahanapali styling, Hana styling, Waihu styling, Bahia styling.